seems like a lot of you always ask me like why I chose to homeschool, and doesn't matter what I say, sometimes like it still comes from me. I would love for you guys to know other perspectives of other people around the world, why they're homeschooling and how is homeschooling changing their kids' life, but also the family as well, because everything is united at the end of the day. I'm here in Madeira in one of the biggest Bitcoin conference, and I'm here with Sylvia.
Hi.
And Sylvia runs like a untraditional homeschooling sanctuary, but it's not really a school per se. She doesn't want to call a school. So I'm here to interview her and kind of like get her perspective a little bit on why she chose to homeschool her kids. Tell a bit more about what is a place to be and why you potentially need to homeschool your kids if you have the choice, because I know it's not for everyone. We need to have a certain, I guess, expertise or job in our lives to be able to do that. But I think it shouldn't be that, because there are so many other resources nowadays, so many other options that you can choose to homeschool your kid to have a better education, to have a better life, and be more united with your family. Hi, Sylvia. Thank you so much for finding the time to be with me. I know it's a busy day. As you can see, it's the first day of the Bitcoin conference. But I wanted to kind of like get a little bit more, to know a little bit more why your family chose to homeschool. What was those triggers in life that you really thought this is the day that enough is enough?
Thanks for having me. So we had Lima, who was about 3 years old. I knew I wasn't going to do anything that she didn't want to. So I didn't send her to nursery because she was very attached to me, but we did spend a lot of time outside and with friends. That was in Barcelona. We moved to the UK when I was pregnant with our second one, Bo. And there was this nursery that everyone said was the best because it gets you in the best school and like the best path for your child. So we went there and my heart was like, oh, like it was in pain already.
I feel the pain.
I've been there. Of, dropping her off and letting her cry and go, because that's what they said I had to do. And I almost started crying when we had this tour, and I could see Lima looking at the toys and the kids, but also not feeling comfortable about the thought that she'd be there for hours without me. And for me, there wasn't really a reason. So I started, in that moment, I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I made that decision. And then I started questioning, what does it mean anyway, the best school? So I went ahead and thought about who do I know who went to this school or who is in this school. And the 4 people, or like 3 people, and then there's somebody's brother that I never met, but they were deeply damaged people. Like they were very good at business, but they were very, very damaged emotionally, psychologically, mentally. And that for me is not a school where I want to send my child to. So just because she will get good grades, and I learned later that is through pressure. So my daughter was 3, her friend was 5, and he started in that school. And at 5 years old, he already had to do a ton of homework and he didn't like it. So for me, I knew that I had made the right decision and I was never going to send her to a place that she never wanted to be. And I had already started reading about gentle parenting books when I was pregnant with my first daughter. And by then I had gotten more into homeschooling, like more chapters and mentionings of homeschooling, and then unschooling appeared in those books. And my daughter's 7 now, and for over 7 years I've been reading all these books. I've gone down the rabbit hole. So first homeschooling, then unschooling, and the more I read it, the more it resonated with me. And because I always like to do things the natural way. Like when I was pregnant, I thought I'm not going to go to a workshop where I learn how to deliver, because women have been doing this for millions of years. Nobody had ever gone to a workshop like 1,000 years ago.
So you didn't go to the hospital?
No, I had home births.
Oh my God.
Both times.
That's literally it was like my worst fear, because maybe I don't trust myself, and you just feel like with the doctors will be safer if something goes wrong. So you were very courageous to do that.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody told me, wow, you're so brave.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the opposite. For me, I would have had to be brave going to a hospital, because I knew all these stories that, the midwives tell you how to position yourself, not how you feel is best for you. They tell you when to push. The doctors tell you, okay, it's been an hour. We're going to cut you open now. We're going to have a cesarean. And I didn't want that. I wanted a natural birth.
Yeah.
And for me, the thought of going to hospital was scarier than having a home birth. So what I did was prepare mentally. I have Peruvian blood. My mom's from Peru, my dad's German, and I have Native American blood. So I kind of did my Pocahontas tales when I was in labor, and I kind of got into this connecting to my ancestors,
That's
just
awesome.
preparing mentally. And it was an amazing experience. And then the second one, of course, it was going to be a home birth as well. And any other child that I might have in the future would also be a home birth.
So from all the books that you read around homeschooling and non-schooling, what made you decide to go your route? So the route you guys are doing right now. And tell me a little bit more about what A Place to Be is.
Yeah, that was actually Summerhill School by A.S. Neal. That had the biggest impact on me because he, 102 years ago, I think, he founded this school where the kids can choose what to do with their time. They offer the whole curriculum that ordinary schools offer, but the kids can just say, okay, I want to go to math. I want to learn how to read. I want to learn about woodworking. I want to do this. I want to do that. I just want to play. I just want to sleep. I just want to do nothing. They have the choice. And kids turn out amazing. People turn out amazing. They're just very self-confident because from the young age, they take responsibility for their actions. They just follow their interests. And at any age, it doesn't matter, like if they're 2 or 10 or 20, 50, 80 years old, you always learn best if you do something that you're really interested in. Mm-hmm. Like at school, it's all, everybody has to do and learn the same stuff. And it's impossible for everybody to be interested in things, right? Yeah, be interested in all of that.
Are you ever concerned, I guess, that the kids, let's say, because I was a kid at some point and I hated to do math and to do homework, but I loved to dance. I loved maybe drawing and other stuff like that. So if I was back and, this was basically the same way that I was brought up, maybe I would never really want to learn math or, physics and other stuff. Do you think, like, if I didn't do that, that would have prevented me to get further along in life?
Well, everybody learns what they need to learn when they're doing something. Like, let's say you love to dance, okay?
Yeah.
And you dance all your life, and you need basic maths for home or for
which I don't remember most of the math. Like, I remember like the pluses and the multiplications, but if you give me like a complicated equation right now, I completely have been erased from my mind.
Yeah, me too.
Because I've not used it since high school.
Me too. So I don't need it. If I need it, I'm going to use a calculator. I look up a YouTube video. I ask ChatGPT.
Right.
It's like, it's not necessary to know all of this stuff. And it won't be in the future. It's going to go more this way. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, if you want to learn a language, if you love learning languages, if you're in this country, if you want to, talk with people, of course, do it. Nobody would say don't learn that language. But if there's a Russian person, I do jiu-jitsu, and there's this Russian couple, and I like them a lot. They speak very broken English and very broken Portuguese. So what he does is he talks into AI, and then it translates it into Portuguese or English, and then we can communicate. I don't need to learn Russian. He doesn't need to learn Portuguese or German or English or whatever language I speak. It's not necessary. So this couple, they sent their kids to a private school here because they want them to learn lots of languages because they think they will get a better job later. Mm-hmm. And then while he says that, he is talking into AI, showing me that it's not necessary to speak any language if you don't need it.
Yeah.
So whatever you need in life, you will learn because you have this inner motivation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the inner motivation. That's the most powerful thing. If you're motivated to do something, if it comes from a passion, then you will find a way to learn it. And there might be even parts of that you won't enjoy, that will be a bit boring, but if you want to get there, you'll do it.
To the parent or I guess to the trollers that I get on my comments and say that you're basically ripping your kids from socialization. You're ripping the kids from a normal life. They won't grow up. They'll grow up like weird, or they'll have weird behaviors. Like, what do you say to those parents?
Yeah. I mean, I doubt these people have ever spoken to a homeschooled or unschooled child. This is all just information that they've heard, that they've read. Yes. So I highly doubt that they've met an unschooler or a homeschooler, because it's actually the opposite. The school system as it exists is like 150 years old. That's kind of the experiment. For hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, humans have learned and evolved without schools. It was all just, it's an innate thing that we have. Every single baby knows how to turn over at some point, how to crawl, how to get up, how to walk. And this goes through life. So we're not going to get stupid at the age of 6 and need a school to teach us how to do things in life. In school, the learning is very limited, because it's all kids of the same age. One adult per like 30 kids. Everybody has to do what they're told. It doesn't matter what they're interested in. So it's so limited. Like socializing at school, where does it happen? In the classroom, they're not allowed to talk to each other. They're not allowed to help each other.
Actually, if I spoke when I was in school, because I did the normal schooling, I had 2 bachelors. If I was speaking, I was actually getting punished or yelled by the teacher. The only time I was speaking was on the 5 minutes break, maybe with the people that had around me, or maybe in gym class, or maybe on the actual lunch break.
Yes, very limited.
And people assume that, like people are socializing, but you're not really socializing.
It's not.
And you're sitting there for hours.
Yes, and it's such an unnatural environment. Like kids, they want to run, they want to jump, they want to lie on the floor, they want to, sit on the table, they want to sometimes just be alone. And it's important to just have this alone time and just quiet time where you can listen to your thoughts and what do I want to do, be bored. That is so important, and that doesn't happen at school. That's when kids turn weird.
I've noticed, for example, there's kids that they have all the toys in the world, and we have play dates, and we go there, and maybe one of the kids will play with our kids, and the other would rather just be on tablet, even though they have all the toys in the world that me growing up, and probably you as well, didn't have. And when I leave my kids with no tablets or no cartoons or anything for hours and hours, somehow you enter in their room and they've created a maze. They've created like something crazy, like they invented a game, because they're using their creativity because of boredom. Like it's important to let the kids be bored, because that's where creativity comes and the learning experience on their own comes.
Exactly.
So for the people that want to know more a place to be, where can they find you, and also like why they need to be part of a place to be?
So I'm going to explain what a place to be is. A place to be is an unschooling sanctuary for parents who want to fiat-proof or future-proof their children. Because at school, kids are not being prepared for the real world. For 10, 12 years, they're just being told what to do. They have to memorize. It's a lot of pressure. It's too much time away from the family, that the family bond is broken. So
the family's not raising the kids in a way.
Exactly.
Like my parents, like they think they raised me, but most of the time I was not even with them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. For me, it wasn't even that bad. In Germany, I started school when I was 7, and it was like 3-4 hours a day. It's not that bad, but now it's like 8 to 10 hours. I know this guy who sent his 1-2-year-olds. He dropped them up at 7 in the morning. He picked them up at 7:30 in the evening. Then he fed them, washed them, and put them to sleep.
That's not even a family.
No. And now he's down to like 8 to 10 hours a day, and he's super happy about it. And for me, that's not good enough. I don't think that's good for children. Children need to learn and evolve, develop in their own pace. And that also means when am I ready to be away from mommy or daddy for more than a certain amount of time. Then when they feel I want to go back now, I need a hug, or I just want to be with them. I think it's important to give this to our children, this respect their needs, because there are human needs as children are with their parents.
And basically raise them with a family value, because like you have a certain value that maybe my family doesn't have. If it's a religion, if it's like the way of living, the way of eating. When you go in school, they're not eating your food usually. They eat like the cafeteria food. So they're being away from basically the family values. Like my homeschooler, she's next to me when I have meetings with clients. She's next to my husband when he has meetings with clients. So she's already listening to terminology in real life and business.
Exactly.
When we talk together. She has a curiosity. I'm right there to help her find out. Like one day she asked me like, how are toilets made? And I'm like, well, I have no idea. Let's find a video on YouTube and watch it together.
Yeah.
But if she had the same question in school, you think the teacher would stop the class and be like, yeah, let's open YouTube and watch toilets right now, how they're made. So that's like something that people don't understand sometimes, how important it is to have that family bond and learn things together.
Yeah. And a place to be fixes basically all of this, because we keep the family bond alive. We have it's a 100,000 square meter piece of land in nature. We're gonna have a co-working space for the parents. We're gonna have lots of learning facilities for the kids with facilitators who are trained people. I have very strict guidelines for people who are involved in the kids area, so they respect the kids' freedom of choice of what to learn and how and when and with who. And they have kids of all ages around who will be interacting, who will be teaching and just learning from another. Kids are welcome to go to the co-working space. Of course, it needs to be quiet, but kids love to be around adults or older people than them.
They
learn from that. Yes, like a place to be, and our life, our family is just one. There is no separation. There is no my family and my work. I work from home. If I go somewhere, they can come with me if they want to. They've been at meetings where I negotiated. They've been at meetings where I had to sign something, like anything. From the day they were born, they were always with me. And now sometimes they say they want to come. Sometimes they say no. It's their choice. So we have at a place to be just the freedom to explore everybody's interests. We don't have a class structure. It's not a school. So when people say a place to be the school, it's not the case. It's really just real life, because in real life is where we learn about the real world.
So for example, because we have our daughter homeschool, my mom would make like a dish. And she'll be stopping her homework or whatever she's doing and help her cook. So she loves to cook and she knows how to cook.
Yes.
If it's like the dough, when you make it, like pies and all that. And that's a skill that she needs in real life. She needs to learn how to cook. Or the same thing when we clean. All my daughters, they love to clean, which growing up, I hated to clean because my mom made it do it. But because they see me or my mom clean or my husband, they want to get involved. They see my husband work on tools on a project, they want to get involved. And this is how they learn those life skills that are missing on the school system.
Exactly. Like what adults need to do actually is get out of the way of kids, because they know how to learn. They want to be part of our world, of their community they live in, whether it's a family or extended family, the neighborhood. If you go to church, they want to be part of it. So if you just give them the freedom to do what they want to try out, and if they don't want to do it for more than 5 minutes, then that's okay. But they'll continue doing it. If they see you doing it and you don't coerce them to do it, to force them and manipulate them, they will just naturally do it. And that's the thing. You need to get out of the children's way, because otherwise you will limit and hinder them from reaching their full potential. That, like, most people have no idea about what children are capable of doing. Like my 2-year-old, as you said, I would let her do everything. With 18 months old, chopping stuff with a knife. At 2 years old, she would cook us rice and scrambled eggs and steak and meats, bacon, whatever we wanted. She would cook us. When she'd say, okay, what do you want? No, she said, oh, I'm gonna prepare some food for you, and I just let her.
And they feel so fulfilled too.
Totally, yeah.
Have you ever thought of homeschooling? If you have, please make sure you leave your comment why you think is best, or why you think maybe it's not the right choice for you. And for more information for the place to be, you can look in the description below and find where to find them, where to find Sylvia and her beautiful family. And make sure you hit subscribe, like, and share with other people if you want to spread awareness of what homeschooling can be for you. See you next time. Bye. Thank you.